Start.
Start. This is starting, okay? It has started, right?
Yes.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The course we are going to teach you today is named Software Engineering, okay? The main books we are going to follow today is Pressman, okay, and Somerville's book. Both book are there, Somerville's book and Pressman's book. You can check it up from your library. Now, for now, we will go through the slides, and these slides are based on Somerville's books. Okay, first of all, the course, what we are going to talk about, software engineering. First of all, you have to know what is software, right? Okay, in general, we think software to be just programs, right? But software is not only program, it is the combination of configuration files and documentation. What kind of documentation? User documentation and system documentation. Now, if you take software as an equation, you can write software equal to program plus configuration file plus documentation. Okay. There are two kinds of documentation, system documentation and user documentation. Now, you have to know what do these individual components mean. What is program? Can anybody tell? Yeah. Set of instructions. Yeah. It is a set of instructions to perform something. Okay. That means you will give some specific input and it will give you the desired output, right? And programs are actually codes, right? Codes means the set of instructions. That is the core of the software. That means the main thing in software is program. Without program, the software cannot run. Okay. Now, the output will depend on the varying input. Whatever the user will give input, based on that, the instructions will calculate the output. As I have told you earlier, software equal to program plus configuration files. What is configuration files? Configuration files are those files that are used to set up those programs. So that you can work it up. And I have told you that documentation is of two kinds. One is system documentation, another is user documentation. User documentation is targeted for the general user, like you and me. Okay, you and me, we will use user documentation. And system documentation will be used by the developer and the advanced users so that they can modify the software. Get my point? Okay. User documentation is used for general users. That means whenever you are trying to run one software, you will see some documentation how to run the software, right? Click here, click there. The documentation is out there. And system documentation is not for general users. It is for developers and advanced users. Why is it? Because if developer wants to change the documentation, he or she will have to refer to the documentation, because after you have done some coding, okay, 1 month ago, you will forget it automatically if you don't do documentation. Comment is also one kind of documentation. In programming, you write comment, okay. It is also one kind of documentation. Got my point? Okay. So, can you tell me the equation? Software equal to program plus configuration files plus documentation. Documentation is of two kinds. System documentation and user documentation. You can see a figure out here. Software system, programs, configuration files, system documentation, user documentation. All the combination makes software system. Any problem out here? Okay. Shall I proceed?
Yeah.
If there is any problem, please stop me. Otherwise, I will proceed on. Okay, what are the fundamental types of software? Basically three. One is generic product, another is customized product, another is ERP. ERP means enterprise resource planning. Okay. As I have told you, generic. What do you mean by the term generic? General. Generic means general. That means it is targeted to the market considering the general requirements of the user. Considering the general requirements of the user. Suppose MS Word, MS Excel, then Adobe Photoshop. These are generic products. Why are these generic products? Because they meet the general requirements of the users. Okay. What is customized product? What do you mean by customized actually? That can be changeable. Customized means that can be changeable. Okay. That is specified, but that can also be changeable. Okay. That can be updated. Suppose I forgot your name. Huh? Ibrahim, and you? Huh? Oh, that's very difficult to pronounce. Bukhari. Oh, that is easy. Okay. Now, suppose you are a developer. Developer develops the program, right? Developer develops the program, and you are the customer. You want to order a specific software to the developer. Like in IIUC, there is that registration software. Do you remember the registration software? It is being ordered by IIUC to the developer. Okay, IIUC is the customer out here, and the developer develops the software and delivers to IIUC. And if there is any change required, then IIUC will request the developer to change the registration software in some portion. Got my point? Okay, suppose you are building, you want to build, you are a customer, Bukhari is a customer, and Ibrahim is a developer, and you want to bring FIFA 2016. Okay, for Nigeria is also there, one of the teams. Okay, now you have give your recommendation, and he has built the software, but he has given less strength to Nigeria. Okay, very bad boy. So the customer doesn't want it. He says that, oh, Nigeria is so poor. He has to play the lower levels and go to the World Cup. I don't want it. Change it. Okay, give more strength, close to Argentina. Okay. Now he changes it around. Okay, depending on the need of the customer, he changes the requirement, and the developer corrects it. So, in case of customized products, softwares are being ordered by whom? Customer. And the details of which are specified by the customer. And it can also be updated by the customer, requesting the developer. Like IIC registration software or the stock exchange used in Chittagong market. Okay, these are all customized software. This can be changed. The stock exchange software, the customer can request and change it up. Okay, change the interface, change the requirements. Okay, it can be changed up. Like IIC registration system, it can be changed up. Okay, the customer orders this and it can be changed. Then another one is ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning, is a mixture of two. Can you tell one example of ERP? It is a mixture of generic product plus customized product. It is a mixture of both. Okay, mixture of generic product and customized product. Please write it down. Example of ERP or Enterprise Resource Planning is Oracle, MySQL server. Those are. Why? Because in case of Oracle, okay, there is this database, okay, that is targeted for whom? The general user. That means the generic product. Okay, but it can be changed. Suppose the customer wants this kind of interfaces in the front end. You guys read database, I suppose. Read database. If you want to change the interface in the front end, you have to change also in the back end. That means the tables or the schemas have to be changed. I am repeating again. Oracle is a enterprise resource planning software. Why is it? It is a mixture of generic product and customized product. Generic product, why is it a generic product? Because it is targeted for the general users. Okay, the database, it is for the general users. But it is also customized product. Why? The customer can change it anytime, requesting the developer. Suppose he wants more tables to be added. Okay, more schemas, you know schemas, the tables, okay, tables to be added. He wants to change the normalization. You guys read, I think, 1NF, 2NF, okay. Then he has to request the customer. So, one of the examples of ERP is what? Oracle, very good. Now, engineering and software engineering, okay. What is software engineering? It is an engineering discipline concerned with the production of the software. Okay, that means the engineering discipline that is used to develop the primary product of software is called software engineering. What is the primary product of software engineering? Software.
Yes, software.
The main thing for software engineering is the software. So it is dealing with the production of the software. But whenever you are trying to deal with the software, you have to be very, very careful and remember that every organization has some organizational constraint and financial constraint. You got my point? Like suppose in any organization, suppose in your organization, Bukhari's organization, there are some organizational constraints. Okay, there are some financial constraints. He cannot give you $10,000. Maybe he can give you up to 10,000 taka. That is his what? Organizational and financial constraint. The developer also has to keep it in his mind whenever he is developing the software, because the organization has some organizational and financial constraints. Can you give one example of organizational constraint? Suppose Bukhari, he wants him to build one software. Ibrahim, he has told him, please make it up within 6 months. That is his organizational constraint. Constraint means limitation. His organizational limitation. He wants to make it up within 6 months. After 6 months, it is of no use to him. He needs it within 6 months. That is his organizational constraint. And he wants $10,000 from him. Okay, he says, Astaghfirullah, I can give you 10,000 taka, Bangladeshi taka. That is his financial constraint. And you are not NASA's theoretician that you don't have to look at the budget. Okay, NASA's theoreticians, okay, theoretical physics, they don't have to look at the budget. They have enough budget. But in real-time scenario, in real-time developers, they have to look at the budget. In NASA, the researchers don't have to look for the budget. There is plenty. Okay, that's what it is written here. Can you guys just differentiate between computer science and software engineering? Okay, computer science is concerned with the theory and fundamental principles. And software engineering will implement those theories and fundamentals into practicalities. Is it okay?
Yes.
That means in computer science, basically you will read those algorithms, the data structures, those all those things. Okay, but in software, whenever you're trying to build one software, you will implement practically those theories, those fundamentals for the makeup of the software. Computer science is concerned with the theory and fundamentals, and software engineering is concerned with the practicalities. That means it will implement those theories, those fundamentals, those algorithms, those programming languages, those data structures, okay, in software engineering. Okay, just to review it up, software equal to programs plus documentation plus configuration files. What are the two types of documentation? And user. System documentation is for whom? For developers and advanced users. So that, why is it for developers? So that they can change it up whenever it is necessary. The documentation is for the developers. Why? Do you get the point? Why the system documentation is for the developers? Do you understand? Sure. Why is it for the developers? Because so that they can change it up anytime. Okay. And user documentation is for general users, you and me. Like, we will not go into the code. Okay. Okay. Can you give one example of customized product? Software in IIoT. Good. Stock exchange software. Why is it customized product?
Because it can be changed by a customer.
Customer orders
By the developers.
and customer orders and customer can request the change to the developer anytime, right?
Yes.
Okay. Generic product is for whom? General users.
General and MIT.
It is targeted for the general users. Can you name some example? Give some example of generic product. Yeah, MS Word, Adobe Photoshop, MS Excel, those things. Can you give example of ERP? Oracle. And why is it Oracle? Because it is a mixture of generic product and customized product. Okay, very good. Okay. Can you guys differentiate between computer science and software engineering? Yeah. It's fundamental things. And software engineering implements those theory and fundamentals. That is, it is dealing with the practical things. Okay. Up to here, any problem?
No.
Okay, I am proceeding on. Okay. So what is the primary product of software engineering?
System engineers.
Okay, you want me to explain? It's easy actually, that's why I skipped it around. System engineers are involved in specifying the system, the architecture of the system, so that he or she can make up the system. That means you will read system analysis and design, there you will see system engineers. Specifying the system means whatever is necessary for the system, what are the requirements for the system, and it will define the overall architecture of the system. You know architecture, that means how it will look, the system, and it will integrate all parts of the system. That means whenever it is giving the architecture of the system, it will have all the components of the system. You understand components? That means the subsystem. Then it will integrate all the subsystems or all the components to form into the system. So what is the job of the system engineers? They will first specify the system. System means they will first find out the requirements for the system. Requirements for the system means these are the things required to build the system. Then they will define the architecture of the system. Architecture means how the system will look. Whenever you are defining the architecture of the system, you will find out the components of the system. Components of the system means the subsystem. Then you will integrate the subsystems to form the whole system. Just if you think in case of hardware thing, okay, what are requirement for the hardware? Then you will draw architecture of the system. Architecture means you will need RAM, ROM, motherboard, CPU. These are the components of the system, right? That means all those components form up the system. And then whenever you are integrating all those components, you are getting the whole PC. That means you are getting the whole system. Got my point? Got my point? Whenever you are doing system engineering, you will have to know what does the system require. Then you will build the architecture of the system. Architecture of the system means he's sleeping. He's always sleeping. Very bad habit. Whenever you will become a big boss, okay, you will do this thing. Putting hands, nobody will obey you then. Okay. I had some of those bad habits. I have, alhamdulillah, eradicated those things. Okay. Is there any problem understanding system engineering? Okay. Okay. So what is the primary product of software engineering? Software. Okay. And I have told you that what is software? That means given some input, it will give you some output, desired output. And in software engineering, there is a developed science. What is the developed science? Computer science. And computer science is covers, I have told you earlier, what? Programming languages, algorithms, data structures, all those aspects of hardware and software, hardware system and software system, and all those things will be implemented where? In software engineering. Okay? That means inside software engineering there is computer science. Right? Hello. Walaikum assalam. By what name?
No, sorry.
You have set it up. You have, what